On the field that are best for the team at that time. He is so good at it. We once watched a game. They had a friendly that they were playing, Barcelona. We saw the clips of it. How many passes was it?
100, I think it was
almost 100 passes in the game, and he completed every one. Every one. Every ball that came to him, he made sure it got to one of their guys. Now that comes from having good feet, but more than anything else, his awareness on the field, his intelligence on the field, his ability to discern and know where the next one goes, when it goes, and how it has to get there. He's one of the best. One of the best.
We read an article about Xavi. The guy interviewed asked him, what do you think about, tell us your thought process during the game. He constantly says, I'm always looking for space, looking. You keep talking about how he's constantly looking around the field. And the guy in the interview, writes down, even in the interview, Xavi gives a demonstration how he's just always up to his head looking. And that, again, the intelligence, the awareness he plays with comes from that.
Absolutely. This translates into the word awareness that I was going to use, and the awareness comes, if you ever see him playing, he's constantly doing this. He's always showing, finding the spaces to get into, and knows before he receives it where the next one's supposed to go. We have 4 areas. There are 4 areas that we measure players when we evaluate them. One is the technical part. Very, very important because you have to have the ability with the ball. All right? Very important. And again, that is something you can control. You have absolute control over by how much time you spend with the ball. You can do it on your own, find a partner, find a wall, but you can get as good as you want with the ball. What I know is this: if you look at the guys on your team that are around you, that you know personally, that are the best guys with the ball, they simply have touched it more than anybody else. Did they have a good starting point? Maybe coordination, maybe the ability, yes, but they simply touch it more than anybody else. The tactical part is the understanding of the game. Too many times when we watch soccer games, and I've been there as well, when we watch MLS games, we watch even the women's soccer game today, we watch it as spectators. We watch it simply from an entertainment standpoint. If you are serious about playing soccer and you're serious about getting better and you're serious about playing at the highest level, when you watch games on TV, and we have a lot now we can watch, way more than 10 or 15 years ago, watch it more from a standpoint of what's going on, of figuring out why teams are successful, why players are successful, and why others aren't. Discerning in the game of if there's a position you play, if I'm a right back, if I'm a center forward, if I'm the goalkeeper. What are those things that are happening in the game that make them successful? What are the decisions they're making? And watching it more from a standpoint of understanding the game. Because tactically, still in this country, we have a ways to go. All right? Because again, too many times now in the development of it, we're watching it as spectators. In the psychological part of the game, we're talking about things like confidence, the ability to not concentrate on fearing, but the ability to release that, to allow yourself to try things, to do things, to be better. That we don't get caught in mistakes, but we move past it. The ability to deal with pressure situations, with tight situations, and being at your best in those situations. All right? So important from a psychological, what your attitude is. And then the physical part. The physical part we haven't talked too much. Fast, quickness, agility, size, speed, good in the air, things like that. Those things, quite honestly, you can improve maybe 5 or 10%. You can increase those a little bit. Some of those are simply God-given, that you're born with those. It's genetic. All right? But that also comes in when you look at the highest level. There is some athletic ability, some physical ability to the best players. All right? That's part of the game. It becomes faster and quicker, and man, it's becoming more physical. But yet, still, we understand the best players have that part right. I'll tell you a quick story. I have a good friend who is promotions director for Adidas. and they had their meetings, their annual meetings this year in Boston. Had it in Boston right around the time that Spain is playing the U.S. And because a lot of the guys in Spain have Adidas contracts, they end up having this promotion that they have to do. He's there at it. And he calls me afterwards. He says, Ken, you wouldn't believe how small these guys are. Iniesta and Villa, and he went down the line. They're small. He says, if I saw them on the street, I wouldn't even think they were athletes. But what they have is they have this intelligence in the game. Psychologically, they're very good. Most importantly, man, are they good with the ball. They make other teams chase because the ball moves so quickly. If you can't catch the ball, you can't have it. And most teams that play Barcelona or Spain struggle to get the ball because they're so good. So the message to you guys is this. Is the physical part I wouldn't worry so much about, quite honestly. Going into the weight room and pumping weight and being able to bench press a certain amount, that's not going to make you a great soccer player. That stuff you're either born with or not, you can increase it a little bit. The technical part, you can take care of. The tactical part, learn. All right? Watch games for the game itself and what's going on and what you can learn from it. All right? Those two areas for sure you can continue to get better. All right? Anything else, Mar, you want to add it to those?
Just want to add, right now with all the media you guys live with, they want to make it seem like people are overnight sensations. That all of a sudden someone bursted on the scene and they just, they didn't work at it and all their success. You have to understand, whether it's musicians, athletes, the amount of time that they put in touching the ball or touching an instrument is enormous. And the key that we talked about is repetition. So there is no overnight success, guys. You know what I mean? It's the time you spend with the ball that's going to make you successful.
Excellent. There is no substitute for that, the touching of the ball. Superb. All right, the schedule, remember, pizza when we leave here. Lights out at 10:30. Get down. All right, we'll